production.
In the mix.
With the Commish, Nate.
Ew. Hi. I forgot to turn my camera on. Oops. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Press Pass Live. If you're watching this here live with me, if you're watching it later, happy whatever day it is that you're watching this, on the drive home, on the drive to work, at lunch break, on the pooper, whatever it does that makes you float your own boat. We're here for Press Pass Live, and we're going to talk about the OMFL. Season 117 is well underway, and it's time to dive deep into the depths of what is happening right now. I also forgot to open up my chat. This is what happens when you're scattered brain in your 46s like I am now. I feel like everything I do is just a hair scattered brain more than it should be. Let me get things opened up here, and then we're going to dive into it. We're going to give some looks at where we are right now through week number 4.5, 5 3/4, whatever it is. What up, Randy? And then we're going to dive into some predictions and sort of where we are right here early in season number 117 before we talk a little culture. I think there's definitely some culture things that we can talk about here in the OMFL. And I don't know why this chat is not wanting to open up. Either way, we're just going to act like they are both open. So we're going to move on with our lives. Randy, I hope you're doing okay, buddy. On a Sunday, it feels like you've been working a ton. Let's go to the fastest 2 minutes in the OMFL. It's never 2 minutes, more like 20 minutes. What up, Daniel? Week number 4, which just closed. It feels like 48 hours ago, but we're ending the near of week number 5 here pretty soon. 49ers and Zoe beat Bill and the Giants 27-24. That was an epic game. We're going to come back and touch base on that one. Actually, you know what? We're not, because I feel like the next week's game is one I got to spend some time talking about a little bit. The Raiders and Coach J Bowles beats Lost Sniper and the Patriots 47-33. Trey with a 35-31 victory over Joker. Has anybody seen Trey? We should do a health wellness check on Trey. Now, I haven't seen him in like 2 weeks, it feels like. It just feels like I haven't hardly read him in the chat or seen him in any voice chats or even heard from him at all. My Saints beat Tim's Lions 27-22 in a really good game. Twinkie, who's on a hot streak, 34-31 over Byron's Titans. Bird bounces back with a big victory over Nice Hunger, 36-21. Both of these guys were playing pretty dead tired, so that one might be slightly skewed because of that. Colin and the Bears beat Priest and the Packers 42-40. Atlanta falls to Tampa Bay 36-35. Kevin said this one was in overtime. Cincyberg tried to go for 2. He ended up not getting it, losing that game, and Tampa Bay is red hot right now. Nipples and the Ravens beat the CPU of Luca 35-9. He is still on his cruise. Mr. Randy beats the Pepper-led Steelers 27-17. Flaboy beats Meeks Seahawks 24-21. I'm going to keep those comments till a little later. Well, hold on to those. We'll just keep those in our pocket for a little bit. The Browns, a little Koch, man, he is red hot. 51-38 over Big Herd. At least I didn't give up 51 points, Big Herd. D-Money and the Rams beat Maniac and his Cardinals 35-10. And boy, this one caused a poop storm that ended up boiling over, as a couple games have in other people's games this season. James, I forgot his name there for a second. James and the Jets beat Massimo and the Dolphins 44-33. It's just kind of a weird looking score, ain't it? Dwayne and his Dallas Cowboys beat Denver and the Cincinnati Bengals 38-23. And then finally, Jay Glaze wrapping up this week with Denver victory over Roger and the Texans 31-21. Some really, really good games. We could talk Chicago, Green Bay, We could look at this Philly Tennessee game. We talk about my game between the Saints and the Lions. That was a really, really good one. But I actually want to come up here and talk about a game that was just an epic battle with the Chargers scoring 28 points in the third and fourth quarter. The second half was all the Chargers. And Joker even made some comments, man, I need defense. Somebody give me a playbook. Somebody give me players. Somebody help me figure this out. This was one of the games that started to tweak sliders. We tweaked them at the end of this week, and then we tweaked them even more going into this current week that we're in. I think we're about where we need to be. Might be some minute fine-tuning, or I might just leave it for a couple of weeks and see how it continues to play out. There's only so much fixing, fellas, that we can do with playing on All-Pro. It just sort of is what it is. Offensive rushing yards, 191 to 95. Passing yards, 307 to 258. 21 first downs to 19. You come down here to the red zone percentage, 50 to 40. That's not something you normally see in a game with this kind of scoring, and even the time of possession was pretty close. Herbert, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He did get sacked once. Josh Allen, 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. So the Chargers definitely had their defense figured out. He had a long of 65. Didn't get sacked at all, but only 51% completion percentage on the day. Derrick Henry going vintage here. 14 carries, 169 yards, a 12.1 yards per carry average with 7 broken tackles. Ray Davis did a pretty good job. He only had 70 yards on the day, but on only 6 carries. An 11.7 average on the day. He was getting it done. Just didn't get enough carries. Roman Crompton, 9 receptions, 192 yards, and a touchdown. Gatson, the second, 3 for 84 and 2 touchdowns. And the Chargers used that to continue to roll here and make that strong comeback there in the second half. A lot of guys with double-digit tackles. Couple of guys with a bunch of tackles for loss. Only 1 sack on the day, and that one's from Sean Kelly, the defensive tackle of the Buffalo Bills. And a couple interceptions here. One from Henley, James, Bernard. Not even going to try this fella's name. 4 interceptions total on the day. And the Chargers coming away with a big-time victory there in week number 4. Let's go on to week number 5. We're going to be wrapping this up here sometime tonight. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be tomorrow. It seems like Maniac had a church event. Flight seems to never really be around that much on the weekends. So who knows what the reasons are. So we'll get through these. What up, Zoe? Buffalo and Joker bounce back 44 to 23 against the Patriots. That Buffalo offense is always in the top 5 or 6 in the league. He continues to put up a ton of points. Jay Glaze beats Lucas CPU 34 to 14. Detroit and Tim bounce back against the Packers 38 to 23. There's a defensive game. Nighsonger and the Minnesota Vikings beat Massimo and the Dolphins 17 to 12. The Chargers continue to stay red hot as he beats James. That's an impressive victory there for Trey, 42 to 20, dominating victory there on the road. Philadelphia and Twinkie beats Bill and the Giants 28 to 24. We got to talk about this one. It had a little drama sprinkled around the edges. We'll touch on it just a little bit. The Colts and Randy beat Roger and the Texans 37 to 17. Tampa Bay stays red hot. Kevin, I'm not sure what's up with my buddy Denbrew. He's another guy I don't really get to talk to very much. He hasn't been giving me any news. I'm going to just assume he's busy, has other things going on, but this is not the season I expected to see from Cincinnati. 44 to 14 for Kevin and his Bucks as they stay red hot. Dallas continues to stay really good this season. 44 to 31 against Bird and his Cardinals. His Panthers. Carolina struggling to find some momentum and sort of tempo on the defensive side of things. But I do hope that with these new slider adjustments, he's going to be able to find that. Cincy Berg beats And the Atlanta Falcons beats Colin and the Chicago Bears 31-21. And then my Saints fall to LC and his Browns 38-31. This one was much closer in score than it was in reality. LC was having his complete way with me. His rookie quarterback missed one pass on the day. It was stupid. I still don't know what I did wrong. I was there in a lot of the different plays with a guy in position to make a play, and the receiver came down with the ball. He had 2 fumbles. One of them we got that led for a score, which tightened the score up a little bit more than it probably should have been, but another he ended up recovering. He was unstoppable in the pass game and then found some run game super late in that game. Let's go talk about this New York Giants and Philadelphia Eagles game. This one, again, had a little drama sprinkled along the edges. 96 yards rushing to 89 yards rushing, 64 passing yards, 22 first downs for the Eagles, 4 turnovers. And so Giants won the turnover battle in this one. Let's see, might have won the time of possession. No, he lost the time of possession. So it isn't 100% win the turnover battle, win the game, but you win it by 2 and you have a lead late into the fourth quarter. You sort of expect your team to do a good job here, though we see a lot of defense here in the second half of this game. Only 7 points for the Giants, 14 from the Eagles, but there's a little asterisk next to that. Let's look at some player stats before we talk about how this one ended up ending. Dart, 266 passing yards, 3 touchdowns with the 2 interceptions, under 60% completion percentage. Dixon, over 64% completion percentage, almost 400 yards, 2 touchdowns with the 4 interceptions. Also was sacked 5 times. That Giants defensive line was giving him a ton of pressure. Dixon, 5 carries for 42 yards. We're going to talk about where a lot of that came from. You're going to see a long of 21 over there, as well as a touchdown. ETM, 8 for 42. Scatterboo, 7 for 41. So the Giants did a really good job of running the ball. Probably want to see more carries, though. We've got 15 carries combined between 2 guys that were over 5 yards per carry. Barkley was under 3 yards per carry, and Shipley, he only had 2 carries, but he did have a pretty good average there. The Giants did a really good job of keeping everybody in check except for Dixon. What happened in this one is the Giants had a 14-point lead late into, or maybe it wasn't 14, maybe it was 10 or 9. I forget exactly what the number was, but had a lead late into the fourth quarter. As a 4th down play deep into their own territory for the Eagles. Dixon calls a pass play. If he did make a read, it was like a half-second read. It was a pretty short read. Rolls out to the right, opens up like the Red Sea. Dixon gains 21 down the sideline. He's so crazy fast. Scores the touchdown. Brings them within 4, I think the number was. So I assume he was up 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Eagles do an onside kick. I have no clue how they did. It was perfect, open wide up. 1 Giants player, 4 Eagles. Eagles get it, go down, score a touchdown. I may have that a little messed up. It may have been like the Eagles drove and scored a touchdown, got the onside, and Dixon scrambled for the touchdown that gave him the win. That might have been it. I may have the sequence kind of jacked up in my head, but it was ultimately that quarterback run that ended up like causing some debate in this game. We'll say some healthy debate. There is no rule that you must make a read. We cannot prove that people made a read. There's no rule that you can't snap the ball as long as it's within the number of attempts by a quarterback, as long as it's not inside the red zone, and you can scramble and make a play. This is why if you have a dual threat quarterback, they should be a real weapon. We hold you under a specific amount of carries. I need to count the carries here. So we've got Barkley with 9, Shipley with 2, Batty with 1. So what are we? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Somebody's got to go double check the numbers, but 5 of 15 carries, or 5 of 20 carries. Sorry. Whatever the 5 of 20 carries. Let's look it up. Let's not even hesitate. Let's get over here. Let's pull it up. Let's see what the FPR says. Uh, 40% of your total runs, every 4 of 10, they don't count towards the 80-20 rule. So 40%, 5 of 20 is under that. Am I correct? Pretty sure it is. Yes, or 20%. So he was well under the percentage. Yeah. I thought I was just doing quick math, but I'm half goofy, so I needed to type it in and make sure I was doing that right. So he's good. And Bill was not happy about not making a read, and I understand that. But we got to allow people with mobile quarterbacks to use them as a weapon. They should put pressure on a defense, especially in crunch time. Bill has a great rushing quarterback, not as good as Dixon, but has a guy that can be mobile, and I think has 1 carry in this game, right? So Bill probably doesn't even use his legs as much as he could. We know there are a handful of guys though that have legs that can do that. So it was totally legit. It sucked. Seeing the onside kick sucked even worse. I think that part just broke against Bill, and it was just a tough game. Neighbors 9 for 157 and a touchdown. Barkley 5 for 105. I'm sure the Bills also done the math here, but on the surface, I start questioning numbers when you see a running back lead your team with 5 catches. So I'm going to assume, what up, Chris? Well, you got that one, brother, and it was jaw-dropping to watch this comeback. But I also get why Bill was a bit frustrated. It did feel like a quick read, if you even made a read, and scrambled out of there, but it was totally legit. Somebody would need to go do the numbers here. That number worries me when you see Barkley 5 for 105. That immediately triggers. You got to add up all the non-receiver catches and compare it to the receiver catches. The receivers have to at least have 1 more catch. Anyway, we've spent enough time talking about this game. Tackles, Haywood had 11 on the day. He was making plays there for that New York Giants defense. And this defensive line for the Giants harassed Dixon and the Eagles offense all day. And Twinkie just kept battling, man. Lawrence with 4 tackles for loss on the day. Carter had 3 interceptions. That last one that happened late in the 4th, I was like, that's ball game. This one is all over. And Twinkie just never would go away. Haywood, Sherman, Simmons, Dean, Bobby, Enrique, and Dijon each had an interception on the day. So a non-receiver can lead. I don't understand what you're trying to say. A non-wide receiver can lead the team in catches. But when you do that, if a non-receiver leads the team in catches, we're going to pull it up. I'll read the rule to you. That means you add up all the receiver catches, all the non-receiver catches for the entire game, and you compare them, and the wide receivers have to have more catches total. So the rule is, and I'm trying to find it, no running back, fullback, or tight end individually or combined may have more than, that's what it is. So they can't have more than 55% of the catches at the end of the game. So you add up, I guess I got to figure out better wording. I hate this rule. This one gives me a pain every time we try to figure out the best way to word it. But ultimately, one player, so Saquon, he doesn't have more than 55% of all the catches. So that one, he's safe. But then you got to add up all the non-receiver catches. So let's do that really quick. I was asking somebody else to do it, but let's do it really quick. I even have something to write on. I don't even have something to write on. Let's go look at it. Because this is going to lead to a bigger discussion that I have to talk about today, which sucks, but we're going to get through it together. All right. So Saquon's got 5. Goddard's got 4, so we got 9. 10. That's it. So 10 catches for 9 wide receivers. We got 4 for Brown, 8. Yeah, see, Dotson's going to be what gets him over the top. So that's 14. Yeah, so right there, he's good. So it was the Dotson catches that got him over the. So he's legit, and I know Bill's a stickler about these rules, especially if he doesn't win. So yeah, this all makes sense. He barely got there. Yeah, I could have, but I like to do things the difficult way. So that's a look at week number 5. Let's look ahead to week number 6. We got a couple of games that are taking place a little later tonight. Our guy Pepper, I love him to death, but he's picking up right where he left off a year ago, being one of the last games. He's going to play Nipples a little later. Zoe and Jay Bows, I'm not sure when that game's going down. Lord knows when Flaboy and Maniac. These games are scheduled except for Flaboy and Maniac. Have no clue if that one has even got a set time. I was told tomorrow night. I'm also supposed to play Maniac tomorrow night, so I hope it's not too late. Byron and Big Hurt. And then D-Money and Meek Boy. I think all of these games, except for the Maniac and Flaboy game, are scheduled. Looking ahead to next week, we got Bills Jets. This one should be an interesting one. James has kind of hit a stumbling block here in the last week. Joker playing really, really good offense, but he's going to have to play some defense against James. Little Koch and these Browns are red hot. He's going to have to hit the road and play Bird and the Panthers. Bird needs to bounce back after a tough loss against Dwayne. We got Pepper versus Kevin. Kevin is red hot right now. Like, all the things are breaking his way. I don't know if he's going to be able to match up against what Kevin brings on offense. The Steelers are going to need a really great run there on the road. We got Priest versus Lost Sniper, 2 teams still trying to find their way. I really like this game for the Patriots at home, but look for Priest to continue to push the envelope on offense. He's been a little stagnant, a little more stagnant than I expected to see, but I think Priest is going to give him a run for his money. Bill's going to be ready to bounce back 2 tough losses. He's going to be on the road against Flaboy. We'll talk about this one a little later too, not this game, but Flaboy in general, because it ties into all the other reasons I'm breaking down rules here. It just sort of drives me insane. I pray to the Lord, baby Jesus, as his birthday approaches us, not really, that somehow the Commanders actually follow all of our rules. Massimo and the Dolphins are going to host Tim and the Lions, who feels like, man, he is ready to just hammer down the gas, take a big lead there in his division. My Saints are going to go face the Falcons. This one will probably take place Tuesday, Wednesday, one of those nights. I got to see exactly how life works out as we get a little closer to that, but Tuesday, Wednesday, sometime in there. Black Cats and Byron are going to hit the road to face Denbrew and the Bengals, 2 teams not having the season that they want. But this could be the moment they start their turnaround. They start to put the pieces together, start to both play the game that I know that they want to play. Zoe is going to be hitting the road to face Maniac and the Cardinals. The Cardinals are going to be refocused. We had some really good conversations. I look for him to be refocused. Zoe has cleaned up his small FPR speed bumps that he had, and he's going to be looking to get a big-time victory there on the road. Roger and the Texans are going to be facing Twinkie and the Eagles, the red hot Eagles. Look for Houston and the Texans to try to play spoiler, but Dixon, he's going to have other plans. This might be an offensive shootout between these 2 teams. Dwayne and the Cowboys going to hit the road to face Meek and the Seahawks. Meek's been really quiet this season. I think he's got a lot of things going on, or I don't know. Meek's never active in the chat, so I don't know what I'm thinking right now. But Meek not being the powerhouse that we've seen Meek normally become in the regular season. But Dallas, on the other hand, is looking like he's ready to two-peat this one. Can the Seahawks get that offense rolling at home? The 12th man's going to be rocking and roaring. Can they pick the Cowboys off and make some plays on the defensive side? And can the Cowboys continue to show that they are the champion until dethroned and told otherwise? Nipple and the Ravens are going to host Randy and the Colts. This could be a really, really fun game. I think this would be a lot of fun to be able to watch Randy and those Colts, man. He's got firepower. Both are superstar quarterbacks that can run and pass. Both have good run games. Both have good defenses. This is going to be a matchup between 2 strengths, 2 coaches. That'll be a ton of fun. Trey and the Chargers are going to be hosting D-Money and the Rams, and I know Trey is hyped up for this one. Trey likes it when the lights are the brightest and the hype is the highest. He is ready to host the D-Money-led Rams, and D-Money is one of these guys that just puts it all together, and he just continues to roll no matter what he does in the offseason, what he does in the draft. His team just plays better, but he's going to have his cards stacked against him on the road against the Chargers. The Chargers slow it down. At least with this offense, he's going to try to slow it down and then hit the big plays over the top, put up a lot of points. This too, take the over in this Week 6 game. And then finally, the matchup between two good friends, Jay Bowles and Jay Glaze, Raiders and Broncos. I have no clue how to call this one. It seems like our buddy Jay Glaze is just got his hands full with real life, doesn't have the team kind of clicking, whereas Jay Bowles has that team kind of moving in the right direction. He's got that roster moving in the right direction. I can't wait to see how that one's going to play out. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to give some quick predictions, and then we're going to open up the OMFL mailbag.
Does your halfback feel like he is stuck in the mud? No matter which direction you go or what button you push, you just can't seem to shake that pesky defender. Well, don't you worry. I've got just the thing for you. It's Birdman's Jukes and Jerky Sauce. Yep, you heard that right. Just a dab will have you juking like the Birdman, and those pesky defenders will fall away. Get the sauce today before your rival buys it first. And remember, when your back can't juke, we'll sauce it up for you.
My guy Bird, always trying to sauce it up for me. Nipples and the Ravens with a 4-0 lead here in the AFC North. I don't know what's happening. I'm having little mini strokes here tonight. Little Koch and the Browns at 4-1. Pepper and his Steelers dragging behind with advances and this record 2-2. Denbrew 0-5. I would have never guessed. Not in a million years. 71 points for his offense. That's not what I would have ever expected. I like the Ravens to win this division. The Browns are going to push him, though. Browns will get a wild card spot. These are two teams here with the Steelers and Bengals, Denbrew and Pepper, respectively. I think these guys are going to maybe have a rough season, play spoiler late in this season, and then hopefully turn things around for next season. These are pretty big holes to start to dig yourself out of early in a season. This could be a really fun division when all four of these teams are clicking. Looking at the AFC South, got Randy and the Colts at 3-2. Big Hurt and the Jaguars at 2-2. Roger and the Texans, Byron and the Titans, both winless. Another division I would have never guessed would be this way. Texans and Titans, these are really big mountains to climb here early in a season. Big Hurt is really busy. I'm not sure that this team quite is clicking the way he wants. And then Randy, he's had some games get away from him late. One basically was stolen from him from the Commanders with some tons of FPR breaks, but including the game winner, which was an FPR break. And then he had the game against his brother where he was up big. I called it, logged off, didn't look at it, and then looked the next day and seen that he lost. He's going to win this division. No one else is going to make the wild card from here. AFC East, James and the Jets at 4-1. Joker and the Bills at 3-2. Lost at 1-4. Massimo 0-5. Again, I would have never guessed this. This is not how I see these things playing out. James has stepped in here from day one. He's got this team rocking and rolling. I think the Bills will push for a wild card spot. It all depends on what ends up here in the AFC West, a division where it seems like who knows what's going to play out. Number one, I think it's going to play out is going to be Trey and the Chargers going to win the division 4-1. I wasn't giving the Broncos the respect I should have. I did not realize they were at 3-2. Chiefs, he's gone. Our guy Luca is out on vacation. The hole's too big to overcome. He will play spoiler. He's going to win a couple games that no one expects him to win because of his record. Once he gets back into the rhythm. Big game between Broncos and Raiders this upcoming week. That could go a long way to see if they can make a wild card run at the Bills. There'll be a couple teams that are making a bit of a run, but I don't know that we'll get three wildcard teams with double-digit wins, as we've seen happen in the NFC a couple of times. NFC North, the Lions are sitting at 4-1. Nysanger and his Vikings at 3-2. Colin and the Bears 1-4. Packers and Priest at 0-5. I want to call it for Tim, but Tim had the tough loss against me. Nysanger started to find a lot of early momentum and excitement, and then sort of feels a little deflated here as of late. But I look for him to bounce back. These two will continue to battle out to the end. I think the Lions just have a bit better of an overall team. Colin, a little bit like what we said with Luka. I think he's going to play spoiler. I'm not sure what's happened with Colin. I feel like I've seen this game before. He'll get some really good rookies. He'll just sort of have bad records and spam them. And then he comes out the next season and he's got like 5 superstars and 4 X factors, and they're all 22 years old. And you're like, where'd this team come from? And he's just like biding his time over here with high draft picks and bad ones, bad records to get those high draft picks and just building them up. Lions win this division. Vikings are going to push for a wild card. Kevin and his Buccaneers finally at 5-0. Somebody take a snapshot. Somebody go check on him. This is the happiest he will be. I continue to say that every week. This guy is like Eeyore. He's just never excited. He's probably going to tell you why he shouldn't be 5-0. I don't want to hear any of it. Buccaneers at 5-0, though, with a strong hold on this division. Bird and Cincyberg will not give this up easy, though. These teams are offensive heavy, 158, 170, 135, especially when you compare them to me, barely breaking 100. They're playing really good defense, 104, 120. Panthers maybe giving up a little bit more defense than he wishes. I like all these teams to continue to push to the very end. I like Panthers and Falcons also to push with the Buccaneers for a wild card spot. I think whoever doesn't win it, they're going to beat up on each other here pretty soon. They're going to get a wild card spot and probably see all 3 of these teams kind of flip-flop back and forth as we continue to go here. NFC East, a really good division. Cowboys at 5-0. Twinkie and his Eagles red hot at 3-2. Bill and his Giants are still a very, very good team. Some bad luck here recently at 3-2. Fly, I have no clue. I can't even wrap my head around where he is. Totally not engaged with us yet. I just can't tell you what's going to happen with these Commanders. I could have a brand new owner here before midseason, or he could go on a run and win this division. I have absolutely no clue what's going to happen. Cowboys win the division. Eagles and Giants continue to fight for a wild card spot. Bill has been there many, many, many times over. Twinkie needs to get there. Let's see how this one plays out. Can the Eagles have the staying power throughout the season? NFC West, 3-1 Rams, 3-1 Seahawks, 2-2 Maniac and his Cardinals, and then Zoe and his 49ers trying to find his way. But man, they're playing really great defense over there. Only 95 points so far this season. This whole division playing really, really good defense with a couple high-scoring offenses. I like everybody over here. And I think a couple of these teams, a lot like the NFC South, could make a run at that wild card spot. The check-in will be what happens at midseason. I like the Rams to win this division. Seahawks, Cardinals, and Zoe and the 49ers will continue to push. Let's see what this looks like, though, as we get a little closer to halfway. All right, that's my predictions for this season. We'll go to another commercial. When we come back, we'll open up the OMFL mailbag, and then we're going to talk some, the most unfun commissioner stuff that he's got to talk about.
Does your games against Cincyberg and Kobe have you crying into your console? Are you this freaking close to having an all-time OMFL meltdown? Is your team playing like they're being controlled by your drunk uncle? Well, don't rage quit just yet. Hold in that R2 button and sprint on over to Denbru's Parts Shack, the only place to rebuild your busted Madden roster. Your team is a dumpster fire, but I have the parts to turn those digital duds into gridiron gods. We have receivers that run faster than Caitlyn Jenner ran away from his first family. Call now or you can kiss your OMFL glory goodbye.
Goodbye. Kiss it goodbye. All right. Let's get over here and open up the OMFL mailbag. I need to set this up to where y'all can see the questions here on stream. We'll set that up next time. I think I can easily do that. Let's see. I don't know. Let's get back over here. Let's see if I can do that really quick. Ain't gonna let me. and it's because how I got it set up. All right, I'll set that up a little bit different next time so that y'all can see the questions as we get to them. So we'll have that set up next time. It comes from Nice Longer. What's more important to you in a halfback, ball carrier vision or ball carrier vision between those two? But I'm becoming a bigger and bigger believer in the impact on all positions, but especially skill positions in change of direction. I feel like change of direction in combination with ball carrier vision and some of the other attributes is probably the most important one, but give me ball carrier vision over carry any day. Carry doesn't, I don't know. It's just weird. I've had guys with the highest carry in my game have 5 fumbles a season, got the lowest carry, have no fumbles. I think it's just a little random and depending on how you play. Randy says, Thanksgiving around the corner. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Yeah, it is around the corner, isn't it? My wife is an amazing cook. I know all husbands say that, but I really think mine is an amazing cook here from Cajun country, Louisiana. I love turkey, like a turkey that's done right. But my wife also makes homemade mashed potatoes, like from scratch. She grows the potatoes in the backyard. It's like, 15 potatoes no, she doesn't do any of that, but she does do it from scratch, and they are pretty amazing. They go really quickly. Mix that with some homemade gravy, and that with some turkey, it's kind of hard to beat. I will also say my brother-in-law makes a pecan-crusted sweet potato mash situation. I call them yams. I don't know the difference between sweet potatoes and yams, but I think they're sweet potatoes. Those are pretty killer as well. Dwayne says, what's your favorite Cajun dish to eat? That's a tough one. Special Cajun dish, like a special, not something you have every week of the night or can cook anytime. It's got to be crawfish, right? Crawfish are awesome. And it's more than just the actual crawfish. It's family, it's friends, it's the music, it's the boil, it's spending all day together and playing yard games and listening to music and watching a game. It's all the stuff that comes with crawfish balls. If I had to pick like one other dish, it would be tough. My wife makes a really good pastelaya, so it's like a jambalaya but made with pasta. That's killer. I do like a good jambalaya. I would have to say, though, nothing for me. Man, I put charbroiled oysters in there. Whew. But nothing for me, even though I haven't had it in a very long time. The older I get, I can't have it that often. A good fried shrimp po' boy. Add cheese. Yes, cheese with seafood. Don't knock it till you try it. Some lettuce, some mayo, mustard, pickles. Oh, my goodness. Nothing like a good fried shrimp po' boy. Do you think an elite front four, defensive and defensive tackle, can cover for an average secondary? Absolutely. Or an elite secondary cover up for an average front four? I do not. I think it is front four. I think they work in tandem. But if you had to pick one, give me the front four. Give me Bills front four, the Giants front four, putting the pressure on the quarterback, forcing them into some bad reads, forcing them into quick reads, and you compile that over a full long game. Guys speed it up. They're playing frustrated. They start forcing things that they see with their eyes that aren't there because they're frustrated and they're not thinking clearly. That is crazy, crazy important. I've seen elite back ends get burnt because the quarterback's got all day, and you just kind of wait for one of the 3 to 4 options that you've got out there to get open. That somebody's going to break down sooner or later. Give me the elite front four. And that's going to be it for the mailbag here. I'm going to check the... maybe so, Trey. I mean, that's we all get our own opinions. I just think that yours is wrong. Trey says, seeing the king at the top on rushing yards. What's up, Nate? Late to the party. What up, Kevo? Yeah, I still think an elite front four will change some things. What do we want to talk about next? Let's do this. Let's get to another commercial, and then we're going to wrap things up with my question of the day.
Howdy there, y'all. Have you ever had trouble staying fresh in your Madden game? Has your FBR really stunk it up? Do you reek from sweaty gameplay? If you answered yes to any of these, we can help. We are proud to tell you about a great new product. We call it Dream Bean. Yes, that's right. Dream Bean works hard to get rid of stale Madden gameplay, penetrates deep into the pores to reach those stubborn, hard-to-reach FPR issues. Turn that Madden reek into Madden chic with Dream Bean, state-of-the-art design that gets the job done. We use all natural ingredients to create the best-smelling, cleaning FPR product on the market today. So don't delay. Call now and get yourself Dream Bean clean. Operators are standing by. Call 188-FPR-CLEAN. Call now.
I want those of you, as you get time, let's come over here and talk a little serious really quick. If you get time, I want you to go look at the first two things that you see on the first section of our FPR. It is in not the document that breaks down offensive and defensive FPR. That's section 2, section 3, but section 1, which is just sort of league operations. It is titled General League Operations and Settings in our Discord. The very first thing that you're going to see is our values. And the very first value is brotherhood over victory. The second value is share and receive feedback humbly, gracefully, and preferably privately. And then you'll see a couple of other things that kind of guide our league. But the very first FPR that you see right after that is respectful communication and gameplay. And I want to read this to you. OMFL leagues are that's not typed right. That grammar was messed up. Basically, I'm trying to say OMFL league members, we're going to have to edit that up, of the grown folks community. Oh, I'm sorry. That is right. Oh, geez. I'm having strokes over here, y'all. OMFL leagues are members of the grown folks community. And in this community, we ask that our owners treat others as adults with respect, courtesy, and indifference. I don't. Somebody's edited our stuff, and I hate it because they don't talk like me. Be nice or leave. That is me, though. A few examples to help. Assume the best intentions of others. This is useful in Madden and in life. Have self-awareness enough to log off when you're having a rough day or taking things the wrong way. We'll be here tomorrow. Talk to someone in a PM or DM, however you want to put that, if you feel disrespected, but be prepared to respond with understanding when others reach out to you in the same way. No public bashing of other owners would be tolerated for any reason. Public bashing also consists of your streams and your stream chats. Some of you have been poking the bear in stream chats while others are playing, and it ain't helping at all. You can't cover things up with just joking. Do not use the showboat feature. You guys know that. Don't spam good game. That's a bad habit that people have here. Before the game is over, it's super lame and doesn't look good on anybody. Do not be logged in and participate in a Discord voice chat. Nothing good comes of this, either voice chat or type chat. Like, just stay out of the chats while you're playing. If you're leading big or late in a game, take your foot off the gas, keep it classy, and just note here about conflict management. It's not fun or easy to navigate, but the process in which you begin navigating it is simple. If you have a problem or know of a problem, then face it head on. You can see here some other little notes that I've left. I think this is something that a lot of us struggle just with in life and just in general, and it's definitely been a problem that has reared its head this season so far. You can see in the FPR chat that I posted that 4 of our friends will not be getting their FPR at the end of the year. It's there. You can go read it, and I'm not going to get into each of the situations individually. I think they're all pretty public, and you can see what happened for yourselves. I think ultimately the lines that were crossed were the things that we've talked about here tonight, that respectful communication, that hoping for the best intentions, trying to approach the subjects in the right way. Priest, I haven't seen him in our streams in a bit, but I hope he's doing okay. I think he's been sick for a little bit here. I called him out on the last Press Pass Live because of the way he wrote one of the questions, and sort of that I think I know Priest enough to know that I don't know that it was super intentional, but also I think it read the way it read on purpose. So take for that what you want. And it just feels sort of like pokey and like, we call it shooting at each other and just like, I don't know. It just, the vibe, the energy, the outcome that we hope to get out of it is not what I would hope to have here in the OMFL. I have a 4-year-old granddaughter. She'll be 4 here pretty soon, a couple of days basically. And she has complete meltdowns because I won't let her have like a bag of chips or whatever because she's a junk food junkie. And I'll ask her, do you think this breakdown is going to get you the outcomes that you seek to have? Do you think you screaming and throwing a fit is going to get you the chips quicker, better, faster, or at all? And the answer is no. It's not going to get you what you want. And I think the same thing happens here as adults, is we hope that the outcome is that, hey, you did this wrong. Here's what you got to do to complete this. Or, hey, I see this differently than you see it. Like, let's have a conversation about it, with the outcome being we both get on the same page or as close to the same page or get some kind of like top-down view of what is happening. We move on in a better way, and we've kind of grown a little bit of a relationship here. And instead, because we don't really know each other, we start filling in the blanks of someone's tone or attitude or intentions. And let's just call it what it is. Ask the Patriots for so long. Winners become the villains because they're easy to hate. So if you get somebody that's not super engaged or somebody you don't really know or somebody that you don't like the way they say things and they win a lot, you know what I'm saying? You get where I'm going, right? It creates a lot of ugliness. And a lot of that came to head over the past 2 weeks, and I think that's really disappointing. I've even felt some of it myself. I don't know if Fly watches our podcast here or not, but I was trying to have a conversation with him about a really terrible week one. I was going to go through the film because he doesn't have time to listen to me type out 18,000 paragraphs. I was going to record a film, go through it, make the connection back to our FPR, explain why we have that FPR, and move on. And I've been busy, so I haven't been able to do that. I've been checking in on his other games, and they've still had FPR issues. Well, for whatever reason, I suppose he felt like I was attacking him, responds back with, his own 18-paragraph response, and sort of defending how he's getting better, but still not there. And so ultimately, whether it was that situation and the lack of mercy and grace shown to a brand new owner who's brand new to our community, brand new to our league, we play radically different, y'all. We just do. We play so different than so many other leagues out there. This is a new concept to even think about not switching and not making 100 adjustments, all this other stuff. I think we got to show grace and mercy. And yes, we have a system. And yes, a board member played him and passed him. How? I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't write down how it happens. I just know I have board members who play people and say, yeah, he's good to go. And I have to trust that. And he's struggling with our rules, but he's putting in the work. He's learning them, and he's trying to adjust his gameplay. The other instances were just being ugly to each other. And so we just can't have that. So we made some changes. I had some long conversations. A couple guys listened to me talk way too long about the history of this league and myself and why I do the things that I do as a leader here. And my life in the last 2 years have just been really tough in a lot of different ways. And I haven't been able to sort of engage with owners privately as I normally do. That's something I hope I can turn the volume up here at the end of the year on. And the ultimate goal, though, is brotherhood, community, and that this is a place where not everybody here wants it. Some people just want it because they like playing video games. Some people want it because they like other people here. Some people want it. Mr. Connor, hold on, y'all. I got to do something. Got to do something really quick because Connor's driving me nuts. He's in the shorts one. There he is. Connor? You're going to get a ban, my brother. I apologize, but you pop in here every single week and drive me insane. So you got to go, brother, man. Got that taken care of. Anyway, ultimately what I'm saying is brotherhood over winning. And I get it. Wins are hard. They're hard to come by. People put a lot of time into their teams, time into learning the rules, like all that stuff. But I would hope that ultimately we can see the bigger picture here and create a space where new guys can find their legs here, can find their community here, and that we're creating a space that they want to engage. They want to be a part of it. I think we will always have a handful of men who are just too busy to be as engaged as I am. They're too busy to be in the chat every day or every week. But I think there's also another handful of guys that ultimately don't feel like this is a welcoming place for them in chat because whatever, they don't have somebody that likes them, or they don't have somebody that had a good game with them, or they don't like this about them or like that about them, or whatever it is that we get against each other. And I think that's an area that we can do better. So that's an area of improvement for all of us to continue to create a space where everyone feels welcomed, where everyone feels like they have a place here, and that we're creating an inviting environment for people to connect and play video games and enjoy the relationships and the friendships that happen here, because I know that they've definitely helped me and been really, really important. All right, I think that's it. We've covered everything. I know the last Press Pass Live and the last Grown Folks Live were a part of another stream. I've downloaded both those videos. I'm going to cut them up and upload them individually. So if you want to go back and watch those and you missed those will be up here pretty soon. And yeah, I think I will. If I'm not back tonight, I'll definitely be back Monday night. And then I think I'm going to take Tuesday off. We're off Tuesday, but here in New Orleans, we usually work it. So we can have off from Mardi Gras. I think I'm going to take the day off because I sure could need it and use it and stream all day and just have fun and just be me. Because Friday when I did that, I couldn't. I spent 3 hours in conversations because of me and I talked too much. So Tuesday, I may just stream all day. So come hang out with me. We're going to be doing some Arc Raiders, hopefully doing some Battlefield, Red Sec, and having a good time. Hopefully the guys are all back around. They've been going all weekend, so I'm having fun. Even though my team is 1-4 or whatever we are, I'm looking to turn the corner, keep building piece by piece. It's hard to compete when you got an 81 overall team against these 87, 88, 89, 90, 91 overall teams. It's really hard to compete, and we're going to keep doing it over here. So more to come later, guys. I love you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and take care of yourselves. We'll see you in the next one, okay? Peace.
Smash that like and subscribe.